friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nessie if you haven't been here before. If you're wondering why I'm dressed like this, I'm going to the Barbie movie soon, so figured I'd film the video while I was ready already. Also, today's the 1st, so I wanted to go over the books that I read in July. I was able to read 5 books this month, which is one more than what I was able to read last month. I would have gotten to 6 if I had been able to read a little bit more this past week, because I think I finished the last book on the 19th. I just haven't had the time that I wanted to read. Also, if Azula's in the shot and she has a cone on, don't worry, she's okay. She got spayed. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster with her spay. So might not be able to film very many vlogs this coming week. That's okay, I just want to make sure she's okay. If this is your first time here, welcome in. I appreciate you clicking this video. I'm going to be doing some monthly reviews on the books that I've read. So if you like that kind of content as well as vlogs, go ahead and give me a subscribe, a like, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into some of the books. First book that I read this month was Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. I'm gonna be honest, not my favorite book. You follow the main character Sally, which she's one of the writers for a comedy show. It's pretty much like SNL. Something about this book was so unenjoyable for me. The first chapter was very hard for me to get through, and I think that's because of the fact that there was just so much detail that honestly, I kept zoning out. I was like, I don't need to hear every single day of the week, and I don't need to hear about what goes into the show. I'd rather just hear the gist of the show, which by the way, there's only 3 chapters in here, a prologue and an epilogue. I don't like that format because for me, it just makes it harder when I want to read on my breaks or on lunch. It just makes me feel like I can't stop in the middle of a chapter. To each their own. If you like that kind of style, that's you, and good for you. I don't want to try and give away too much about this book, but their second chapter is just all email, which I honestly didn't mind too much. It helped me get through the second chapter very fast, which I'm happy about because I was honestly at this point just trying to get through the book. This was actually one of the picks by one of my co-workers. We have a book club that we do every month. I'm sorry, Juan, but I did not like it. I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't hurt you. That's just me. If you enjoyed it, I'm very happy for you, but I did not. So the emails take place like during COVID time. After all the emails in the second chapter, they finally meet up in chapter 3 again. First chapter, they met for like a week. Second chapter, they would talk over emails. Third chapter, they actually meet in person again. And this is still, I believe, during lockdown or it's sometime after. I can't remember. But I honestly, personally don't like online dating. I feel like a week's not enough time to get to know someone. I don't know. Trying to just email back and forth with someone is very hard for me. The initial meetup sometimes can be awkward, so that's the feeling that I got from chapter 3 is just like this awkwardness between them two. I don't know if that was just a me thing, but I think that added to why I didn't really enjoy the book as much. So overall, I gave it a 3.5. If I could give it a 2.8, I would, but not able to. Maybe even a 2.1. Somewhere between there. I just really did not enjoy the book. For me, it just wasn't believable. The main character, her insecurities are believable, which also the author doesn't describe the main character, and I think that's on purpose. That way it leaves you up to your own imagination. With that being said, I just did not enjoy this book. The second book that I read was Normal People, which I don't have with me right now because one of my friends is borrowing it. I also watched the Hulu series, which I didn't know was a series until one of my friends told me. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 5-star on Goodreads. I'll insert a picture of it right here, but it was so good. I just felt that the characters were very believable. So you follow the main character, Marianne. She is not really liked by her family, and she's not a very popular person in her town. The chapters go back and forth between a now and then kind of scenario, which I enjoy those kinds of books a lot. I also felt like this is realistic as far as like some situationships that kind of happen in real life. I feel like they're those characters that you know should end up together, but they just keep battling with their inner turmoil and then just keep saying that they shouldn't be together. That's kind of the story plot without giving away too much, but I really enjoyed this book. 5 out of 5. I would read it again. I would watch the show again. I just think it was very on the side of realistic and something I feel like we all can relate to as far as situationship. Maybe not all people, but I really enjoyed this book. I highly recommend giving it a read. The third book that I read was Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I absolutely love books with smut. This one only really had one scene in there as far as smut goes. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought that the main characters were perfect for each other and the way that they treat each other was so cute. This is one of those fake dating to relationship type of books. Definitely the kind of book that I needed in this moment. I give this a 5 out of 5. I absolutely love the main characters. Olive and Adam are perfect together and so sweet to each other. I just really enjoyed this book thoroughly, so 5 out of 5. The fourth book that I read was You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thau. I really enjoyed this book. However, if you're one of those people that needs to love the main character in order to enjoy a book, this may not be for you because the main character, Julie, comes off very selfish throughout this entire book. So while I didn't enjoy her as a person, I do feel it fits more in that realistic kind of realm of people being more complicated and having more emotions than just someone to cheer for, which I know a lot of people like the main character to be someone that you want to root for. I personally don't always like that. I like things that are real. I know sometimes people just want a book to escape their real world. I personally just like more realistic things a little bit, but overall I did enjoy this book. So you're following Julie, whose high school boyfriend Sam had just recently passed away. She decides to call Sam's phone knowing fully well that he's not going to pick up, but she's hoping to hear his voicemail so that she can hear his voice again. But with her calling, he ends up picking up, which I don't think that ever gets explained why he's able to talk to her, which honestly I'm fine with that with how it was. I think this is more of a book about letting go, which also the fact that he's able to pick up, I guess it's not that realistic, but I just mean like the characters I like when they're more realistic and believable. Doesn't have to be the scenario, okay? I realized that after I said that. But even so, I just really enjoyed the fact that Julie's not perfect. Who is in this world? But I really enjoyed the messaging of this book, and honestly, it's definitely something that made me cry. Had I not been at work, I probably would have cried full on, but I only had like a couple tears coming out. That's the first book that's ever been able to make me cry. It tugged at my heartstrings a lot, especially with letting go. I think that's because that's something that I'm still learning, but I do think that the message of this book is very, very, very heavily noticeable. So 5 out of 5 for this book for me. And the last book that I read this month was LoveTheoretically. I absolutely loved this. I don't know if I enjoyed this one more than Love Hypothesis or not. I feel like I loved them the same, to be honest. I feel like Love on the Brain and Love Hypothesis are very similar in their storyline. This one was a little bit different, which by the way, the main character's name is Elsie. I kept calling her Elise in my head for the entire book until there's one part where she tells someone that they should start calling her Elsie. And I'm like, wait a minute. I went back and read and I'm like, her name has been Elsie this entire time, not Elise. Wow, I misread that hardcore. So I am so sorry, Ali Hazelwood, that's my bad. There was a couple more spicy scenes in this one than there was in Love Hypothesis. It did take a while to get to them, but once they were there, they are there. So if you really like smut, you'll enjoy those parts. Jack's character is a very likable character. I really enjoyed the chemistry that they had throughout the book. Overall, I just really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed all of it, to be honest. The smut, everything, the slow burn. I just thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. I think the only book that I've read by her so far that I've given her a 4 out of 5 is Love on the Brain. Now that I'm looking back having read these, I'm actually really happy that I gave it a 4 out of 5 because Love on the Brain was it's a very cute story, but it was definitely something that's a little bit more predictable in a sense. I feel like this one was a little bit less predictable than the other two books. So 5 out of 5 for this book. All right, my friends, those are my July reads. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Hopefully next month I'll be stepping out of the romance genre a little bit. This entire month was pretty much just romance based, I feel like, and honestly, I feel like I needed it. Now it's got me in the mood to read some other genres. With that being said, my friends, I will see y'all soon. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!